Well, I see us live, Dave. Do you see us
Woo!
live?
Yep, I sure do. We made it. Awesome. Welcome everyone to yet another AAPC Social Hour. It is August 27th. It's a beautiful Wednesday. I'm in Mount Shasta and the sun is shining and it's not too cold and it's not too hot. So it's pretty nice right now. Alex, how are you
That
doing?
beard's looking great, by the way. It's kind of a surprise. Every 2 weeks we see it get thicker and more
Uh-huh.
um,
Yeah.
filled in.
I keep sleeping underneath that same tree that Rip Van Winkle fell asleep under, and I just keep adding on the beard length and the years. It's great.
No,
So,
it,
Oh
it
man.
has great definition. It's really like coming in there. It looks great. It looks
oh,
great there.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying this new thing where I'm just letting everything go, just trying to be more kind of natural.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I come from, I don't know, an upbringing that's very kind of clean cut and put together. And so it's like slowly just trying to relax a little bit,
Yes.
let things go, and try and still maintain some sort of professional look. So it's difficult, but
No, well, you're
it's good.
hitting it. You're hitting the mark.
Thanks, Corella.
Yes.
Well, cool.
Yes.
Today with us, we have, as always, we have Alex McKinley, and we have joining us Corella Lumpkins, who's with us. She's been with us for the past couple weeks now, and it's been
Yeah.
so fun. So she's
Yeah.
going to hang with us today. And then we have with us a special guest, Colleen Jensen. And
Yeah.
she was featured in the August article or the August issue of AAPC, the magazine. Man, it's always such a mouthful for me. I swear I'll get this right one of these times. But anyway, we're going to be talking with her today, and then we're going to be bringing on at the half hour mark, we're going to be bringing on more of Corella's friends and our friends,
Yeah.
and we're going to be talking more about CPC-A and this whole series of what we're doing to
Yeah.
remove the A or overcome any challenges that,
Hmm.
might be, we might be having with all of that. So anyway, but before we get started, we want to interact with you guys in the chat. We want to know how your week's been. We want to know if there's
Hmm.
anything crazy that's happening in your world. And with ours, I guess we can kind of share with us. I'll share at the end, but maybe Alex can start us out and tell us how your past 2 weeks have been. Anything new or exciting?
I've been in the thick, as I'm sure you are, Dave, of preparing for our San Diego regional conference.
Hmm.
And I've been to San Diego a few times, but I don't know it too well. I just know it's a beautiful area. So Dave, do you know San Diego well? Where should I go eat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell us, Dave, because I've never been and I'm going for the first time. So I'm
okay.
looking forward
Well,
to it.
I wish I was the expert. I did live kind of around there, but I didn't. I know some of the beaches well and some of those pockets. La Jolla is really cool. There's like some
Hmm.
seals that you can go see and kind of walk around. There's a bunch of little shops. It's really easy to walk and kind of a nice little cove.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's like Mission Beach, which is, well, I better not say whatever beach is the slightly more party beach that has like I think there's like a nude section too.
Oh,
So
Oh boy.
wow.
I don't
Oh
want to
boy.
make any recommendations. We probably should get Jackie on here to make the recommendations and not me. But
Well, speaking of Jackie, you had been working on the videos, the Jackie touring San Diego videos that we've seen, right?
Mhm.
You're
yeah,
working on those. Okay. And so there
yeah,
are three up right now, if you can check our socials.
yeah. We've been doing a little series with Jackie where she features a few little places in San Diego, like Little Italy and the fountains and the marina and all that, to kind of give people just a little taste of what they can expect there. But speaking of Little Italy, if you like Italian food, oh man, that's the place. And sometimes on the
Mhm.
weekend, it's crazy to find any parking because the streets are so tight through there. But there's so many amazing Italian restaurants in that section there. Well, and even if it's not Italian, it's like they have all the little pockets of everything all right there. So, and I think that's all within walking distance of the hotel, I
Oh,
Awesome.
believe.
nice.
I
Awesome.
believe.
Nice.
Close enough. Yeah. It's been a minute. So I'm
So,
excited to go. Yeah, there's a
yeah.
lot that
I'm definitely excited. It'll be my first trip to San Diego. So
nice.
I've been to other places, of course, in California, mostly San Francisco. I love San Francisco,
Mm.
and of course, everyone's kind of been to LA at least once, I think. Um, but this will be my first San Diego trip, so I'm definitely looking forward to it, as well as a wonderful conference that we put a lot of effort in. I know I'm speaking and doing a couple sessions, and so I'm definitely looking forward to all of that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a lot going on coming up here.
Yeah.
Next month we've got, well, I mean, I say next month, and that's literally days away. We've got
Hmm.
DocuCon the 9th and 10th, I believe, of September. And then less than a month, we're on the road down to San Diego to do HealthCon Regional. And then right after that, as part of it,
Yeah.
AutoCon, I guess,
Yep.
as the combined, the hybrid.
And that's the first time we're doing the hybrid like that. So
Yeah.
that's going to be amazing.
I
Mhm.
wonder if Colleen has ever been to an
Yeah.
AAPC conference.
Oh,
Colleen?
I have not.
yes.
I
Yes.
someday will have
Nice.
to do
Oh,
that.
yes.
I've
Yes.
read about them and thought, yeah, that would be interesting. I'd like to go sometime.
Oh, we'd love to have you, Colleen. Make sure you
Yeah.
look us up and hang out with us when you come.
Yeah, yeah, I will. Keep that
Yeah.
in mind.
Yes.
Yeah, speaking of Colleen, what is your how's your week? How's your past couple weeks, man? Before we get into your article stuff, how have you been? Just how are you doing in general?
Um, Doing well. Just keeping I keep pretty busy running here to there, and I have a daughter, an adult daughter with disabilities that does day hab during the day, but between taking care of her and I've, you know, going from here to there, I keep myself hopping. Got a new puppy, so have this little crazy puppy that's, we call her in the shark stage right now, where, between little razor baby teeth and
Yep.
nails,
Doing
all of
everything
us
up.
from knees down are all little puppy scratches. So but she's doing well and it's fun to watch. Kind of reminds you of all the fun.
Oh, that's so cool. What kind of dog?
Nice.
What kind of puppy?
She is, I'd never heard of before. It came from a friend of ours. She's a Russian Belanca and Schnauzer mix. Both parents are that mix. So she's about 7.5 pounds right now. And they said the mother dog is 11 pounds and the dad is 7 pounds. So
Oh, wow.
Pretty small.
I don't anticipate her to get a lot bigger. She's
Yeah.
about 4.5 months right now.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
she's, just she looks at you then and she's just so darn cute, but then she'll start little scratching and it's like,
Biting down.
those little nails are something. But yeah, she's fun. It's fun. They're fun to watch them play and have the zoomies a lot. So
The zoomies. Yeah.
Good, good,
yeah,
good.
I
yeah.
raised two little puppies around the same time.
Uh-huh.
I was working from home and my spouse at the time was working away. And so when we got them, I was with them for the first couple weeks, like day in and day out.
Right.
I
That's
almost
yeah.
lost it. I was
Yeah.
like, I
Well,
don't know if I can do this. They're so cute, but they're so hard to
yeah,
little. They just need so much attention, and there's just feces and urine everywhere. And like you said, their teeth are razor sharp, and they love biting everything. And you're just like,
Mhm.
please
yep.
stop nibbling.
Yes. Yep. Ice cubes are her favorite right now, so that's a good thing.
Ice
But
cubes.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's the teething thing. I think is
Oh,
because
yeah.
just
Yeah.
kind of by chance tossed one and that will entertain her for a while. But she spends time in her little kennel crate, periodically when it's like, okay, I got to get some stuff done. I can't, I can't chase you right
Yes.
now. So, but she does well.
That's great.
Good, good,
In the
good.
comments, Cheryline has a dog named Walter White. That sounds very dignified. It must be very,
Right.
Great.
aristocratic. I don't know. But a question for our chat folks. I'm in there a lot today. Are you a cat person or a dog person? Let us know in the chat. I feel like
Or
many
a
coders are
both
cat
person.
or both.
Or
Okay,
both.
you're both.
I both, yes.
Okay.
Two of each.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
Two of
Corell,
each.
I was gonna ask you about your past couple weeks, and you can talk about your animals too.
Oh, yes. Well, past couple of weeks, of course, we've uh had these well, I have, like I said, two of each. I have two furry, wonderful cats. My oldest cat is almost 20 years old. So I've had her for a very long time, and she's just as spunky as ever. And so I'm very grateful for that. I also have two English bulldogs,
Okay.
old English bulldogs, and so
Hmm.
and they are very smart. They have we made the mistake of giving them some bananas and watermelon. And so now we have to give them bananas and watermelon every night. They will bark and will protest until they receive their bananas and watermelon. So we started something that we should have never started. So, so now they're on this kick, and we must do it each and every evening. But they've been a delight, as you know. Pets are a delight, and have added a lot of action in the house. But as far as work wise, again, getting ready for this conference. I'm presenting 2 sessions and trying to get those course down packed and ready to go, and looking forward to this San Diego trip. And it'll be my first time in San Diego. So has anybody in the chat been to San Diego, where we're holding our regionals? Maybe you can give us some tips in the chat, if you will. If you've been there, it'll be my first trip there. So definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely would appreciate
Yeah.
any tips. Some real
More-
tips.
Yeah.
Not the
Morgan
ones I
Brown
take.
Yeah.
is in the Morgan Brown, who's in the comments, will be in San Diego.
Oh, good.
So, and I said, reach out to us if you see this roaming around. I'd love to meet you
Absolutely.
out there, Morgan.
Nice. Yeah, looks like Sherilyn and Dwayne Norris wrote in all caps, strictly dogs. So dog only from that.
Dogs
person
only.
there. Yeah, Alex
We-
Alex says he was raised with cats. Cool. Me too.
Yeah, I love cats.
Me too.
Tigger was my favorite cat. Not the Winnie the Pooh. I had my own
Uh-huh.
Tigger. It was a Siamese cat. Loved the
Mhm.
Tigger.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love their autonomy. And if they have a personality, I had a cat that was
Yes.
kind of like a dog, and I could play fetch with it. He would go hiking with me and
Mhm.
off leash and
Mhm.
everything. So it was kind of best of both worlds because I didn't have to take him out to do his business and all that. So anyway,
We had a
I-
cat way back, but he was interesting. I had grown up with farm cats, and this was a house cat, but he was how do we say, ornery, I guess. But if people
Mhm.
came, he was kind of like a watchdog, and he did not like anybody else coming to the house, and he would growl and make it very known that they are not welcome to come into the house. And so all
Oh
of my
my
nieces
goodness.
and nephews were scared to death of him, and they'd come and stay in the car until I said, yes, Gilbert was what my daughter named him. Gilbert is in the room. He's locked. He's shut behind the door. You can come in now.
Oh
So,
my goodness. Well,
yeah,
they definitely have such personalities.
definitely.
You
Yeah.
come home from work. I have 2 dogs that are just can't wait to see you, and I have 2 cats that'll look at you like, "Oh, it's you."
Right.
So,
Yep. Yep.
so,
I get it.
so
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely are full of personality. Definitely.
and
Yes.
a lot of animals take on the traits of their owners too, or the other
Yeah.
animals they're around. So maybe this
Yeah.
cat or your cat that would bark was taking on traits of other dogs. Like, hey, I gotta do
I
that.
don't know. Yeah.
So
She's something.
well,
Mhm.
Colleen, we have you here and
Mhm.
you're a special guest today. We want to talk about your inclusion in the August magazine.
Mhm.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit why you were included and what's the basis around that for everybody who's listening?
Well, I was asked to tell about my family practice certification and just give a little insight on that. And
Yeah,
so I
perfect. And the family
did
practice
that.
certification, the CFPC, right? Is that
Correct. CFPC, Certified Family Practice Coder. Correct.
Nice.
Yes, I did. That was after my CPC. That was the first one I did as a second credential. I've gotten a couple more after, but I it seemed most likely for me just because I'd been in family practice for so long, and family practice is such a catches everything.
It
Um,
does. I was just
and
getting ready to say that, Colleen. You see everything.
right. And so
Everything.
and I just kind of felt like after the CPC, which, you have your certification,
Mhm.
really with the family practice certification, that kind of gives you little bits and pieces of all of your other things, because you're going to have some dermatology procedures. You're going to have
Mhm.
some ortho like type stuff, your simple fractures, you just have such a wide variety of
Mhm.
things that you do, that it just seemed natural to do this one next. And it added amazingly after I, when I did it. I've been doing this coding and
Mhm.
working in family practice since
Mhm.
years and years, like 1988. So long, long time. And I'd never certified because I struggle with testing. Tests are hard for me.
Mhm.
But when I did it, I, it kind of, it just felt natural. It's kind of
It
been second
clicked.
nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I, spent a lot of years in the one family practice office, which the doctor, when he started it, we started as a new practice, and it was the doctor, myself, we had an RN and a CMA for lab, and it was the four of us. And, you learn a lot building in a private owned practice. And I
Mhm.
mean, it's huge. And so in those
Mhm.
23 years, you wear a lot of hats and do a lot of things. And
Mhm.
then
I
when
call
I
I call
switched,
those mom and pop doc shops.
yes, yep,
Because it's and you're right. You do. I know you've done front office, you've done back office, you've done. When you work in those
right,
situations, they're a wealth of knowledge.
right.
You get a wealth of knowledge of all of that because you get everything.
Yes, I mean, we built a new
Yeah.
clinic, so I was in on, designing the exam
Hmm.
rooms and the phones. And we when we put in I forget if we had 3 different computer systems before we did an EHR, which that was me and the doctor going and doing and learning and,
Hmm.
setting up and doing all that background work really makes the coding part of it, like, and to where I am now, all that background makes everything just click together. And so, how it all works together. That I was
Process.
in on the payer credentialing and,
Hmm.
contracting, so where I go see those contracts and do that. And now when I'm in the position I am now, I know how those contracts are and what they include, which makes
Hmm.
a world of difference as coding. So because you have to know your payer when you're coding. We have our AMA CPT guidelines and ICD-10, but there's also payer guidelines.
Full revenue cycle experience, fully from
Mm-hmm.
beginning to end. You really
Right.
see it all in those
You really do.
positions. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Colleen, how many years total have you been in family practice?
Well, let's see, that was 23 and I've 10, so 33 years now
Nice.
out.
So you've
So
been involved in family
Mhm.
practice for 33 years, and of that time, you've been a credentialed member for how long?
10 years. I credentialed in 2015. My When I was in the private family practice clinic, they didn't require that I have it, and so I
Mhm.
opted not to. And then, life changes, you move, and I moved, an hour and a half away from the little town where the family practice was, and started out working from home, but they needed me on site. And so I said, well, I can't spend 3 hours in the car every day. So I switched, and the hospital I work for now did require the certification. So, which I did right away, and have grown and moved up and moved on in that
Mhm.
position. So, and that has been a wonderful change.
So
So
good.
many aspects of it. And that's what, with doing this credentialing, with getting, especially the family practice credential, it really enforces everything that I had been doing for so many years, but puts that background behind it, that, the guidelines, the who and the why. This is where you go look, and why it's so important to know it and follow it.
So your
Mhm.
CFPC, so you said you got credentialed in 2015, and that was with your CPC, right?
Correct.
And then
Correct. And then
the CFPC you got when?
that was in 22.
22. Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Yes.
And
Yep.
so, and you're saying with getting that background, that gave you even more of a broader picture of the
Mhm.
process and
Oh,
Sure.
for really
definitely. Yeah.
growing. Cool.
I mean,
So,
like I
so
said,
even though
I've
you've
been
been in it for uh, quite a long time, right, and has so much
right.
experience, it's still added to what you already knew.
Yes. And I mean, many days I feel, oh, learned something new today. I found here's
Mhm.
another little tidbit I pulled out, and this one is something new. So there's always something
Mhm.
new, different, just little caveats that pull in and go with it. So
I love Dave's line of questioning here because, and I want to go
Mhm.
further with that because I'm like, well, you had done this for so long. Why did you feel you needed to have the CFPC in the first place? Was this an employer mandate, or did you just feel, I mean, you earned your CPC and you thought, well, maybe I'll just, since I'm already specializing in this space, I'll just see if I can learn more. Like, what was the mindset, Colleen?
honestly, it was employer related. My position was changing. There was we shifted things around and had a new position I was going to, and it required a certification in one of the specialties that I was working with. And my group that I have is the family practice and internal medicine and urgent care providers with our hospital. And so it made sense for family practice, not only because I felt, I want to do this one first as a confidence builder because I'd done it so long, but because that's who I'm working with now. I work with our family practice providers, coders, and urgent care, and they kind of all go right together.
Nice. So did you feel when you were going through the coursework itself, like you're saying, you're getting all these extra little light bulbs, did you feel like it was a struggle to get through it at all? Or was it, I guess I'm just thinking feedback, or did the course
Right.
sense with the workload with what you were doing? Did it complement it well in that
It
way?
really complemented it well. What I
Okay.
just recall, really working on looking into the guidelines. We look at the guidelines, and especially ICD-10. You look at them every year. You get the new codes come out, you go through, you read them. But to really go through them, things really pulled out. I mean, to where it's like, that's what that one means, and here's where that applies. And that's where I've really used that. And I really felt like by doing the course and the certification, it really helped me dig in and understand those guidelines and the importance of them and everything to make
Yeah,
it all go together.
that's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I love hearing that. I love hearing feedback on our courses
Mhm.
and credentials because I mean, what we're going to talk about in the next segment, all about making people job ready so that they can hit the ground running, or
Mhm.
so that whatever you're studying in our courses, you're ready to get into the industry or get into that segment of the industry if you're already in the industry, but hit the ground running and it really makes sense
Mhm.
and it applies and so that there's no gaps in what our curriculum developers think is needed versus what the industry actually needs
Right.
those to be the same and cohesive. So that's really good to hear that it,
That is
Mhm.
good to hear.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
other credentials did you said you ended up getting a few more, right?
I did. I also have the next one I got was my CPMA for Certified Professional Medical Auditor. And the most recent one was the CDEO for Certified Documentation Expert Outpatient.
Oh, good ones. Good ones.
Yeah, and that's all with the CDI education position that I
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
That makes
now, which helps. The auditing one that was tough.
Mhm.
But it was, it's interesting. This, and definitely the study guide was helpful because coming from so many years in family practice, I don't do a lot with anesthesia and infusions, and that
Mhm.
family practice doesn't have a lot of that. But that is important. You need to know those things
Mhm.
for doing the auditing because sometimes that pops up. And
Mhm.
so that was really good. Those I felt were good courses too and helpful.
That's cool. And probably our CPPM, you could probably breeze through that too, our practice management one, because
Mhm.
with having experience running small practices and now in a hospital and
Mhm.
seeing so many different sides of it, you could
Hmm.
probably breeze through that. I was gonna ask you though, you said that you said that you struggle maybe a little bit on test taking.
I do. I
And
have.
I wanted to ask if you had some like tips or things that you found that have helped you overcome
Mhm.
maybe some of those things that you could share.
Um, I don't know. I just get really worked up and overthink it. I have a lot of test anxiety, overthink my answers, and go through, read more into it basically. With the last one, I really worked hard on, kind of reinforcing to myself, the answer, just check it and move on. Don't keep going back and questioning it. Go with your gut on it, because that's usually the right way. But for me, it's lots of the studying and the reading, the study guides, going through the practice exams. Those
Colleen,
were helpful. Mhm.
that anxiety and stress you feel from test taking, I'd say that's probably more common than not.
Probably, yeah. I do. I agree with that. So, but it's gone well. All of mine had been in person and proctored, one with the exception. My last one was, I went to a testing facility and had it, and did it on the computer there, which they were all good experiences for me.
Good.
So
Good.
mhm.
Good.
That's good.
Excellent.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Glad that you were able to join us today.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you
Yeah,
go and get
thank
back
you.
to the rest of your day. It was nice
All
to
right.
know you a little
Yes.
bit, enjoy your puppies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Or your
yes.
puppy
Well,
family.
thank you all so much for having me.
Well,
I
we hope
appreciate
to
it.
see you. We hope to see you at one of these conferences one time. So come out and make
I
sure you introduce yourself to us.
Yeah,
I
I
hope
forgot
to
to ask
get there
what
sometime. Yeah.
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 I was gonna
Just
ask what
have
part of
to.
the country you're in.
I'm in the
Oh
Midwest. I'm
yeah.
in Iowa, small town
Ah,
Iowa.
Okay.
Yep.
I was
Yes.
thinking
nice.
any
Yes.
conferences
Yeah.
that we might be doing around that part, and I can't
Right.
right
That.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I travel. I do a lot of travel
Cool.
too. So
Good. Good.
fitting
Good.
it all in.
Awesome.
So,
Well, thank you,
all
Colleen.
right.
Right.
All
Take
right.
care.
Good to
Yep.
meet you,
Thank you all.
Colleen.
All right.
Yep.
Nice to
Take
meet you,
care.
Colleen.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Well, that's fun.
Okay.
She's great.
She's great. Yeah.
Yes.
So much
It
good
is good.
experience.
And a credential that not a lot of people have at CFPC. So to get some insight into that, and and the exposure to everything, and how that all kind of worked and helped her career. That was great information, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, what's been going on in the chat? I've been seeing it kind of
So
scrolling through a little bit. Anything you want to add?
kind of continuing with what we were asking Colleen about, because I mean she'd coded for so long and then it finally became a CFPC. And Cheryl Lean in the comments, you mentioned her before you saw her comments, Dave. But
Yeah.
she's also already an established coder, but she's working towards her CPC and will be working towards her CPB in their new future. She says, I want to obtain the CPC credentials as I feel you're more knowledgeable, gain more respect, learn more about compliance and guidelines. Plus, I want to obtain more credentials as I've just been hired as a billing manager for an anesthesia office. So it's so amazing to see there are coders out there who do not have a credential, which is so hard these days to find an employer who will hire you without a credential. But she sees the value of that despite having already worked in the space and now has been
Yes.
hired as a manager. I just love that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it never hurts to get more education, right? It never hurts to reinforce those things that you might already know, or like what Colleen was saying. She was still learning stuff that she's, probably or just the little light bulbs, just all the little stuff that maybe or don't have reinforced day in and day out. Yeah, so
Yes.
cool. Well, Corella, should we bring in the rest of the group here? Who do we
Oh,
have?
sure, man. Who we
Waiting
have?
All right, looks like we've got Erica Simpson here. We'll let her in,
Oh, yes.
and Jenny Cox. So go ahead and
Hey, Jenny.
turn on your cameras. And I did see Maya on a little bit earlier, but she's not with us right now. But I'll
So
look for
hopefully she'll jump on. Yeah.
Hey guys, you're all on mute. There you go.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, Erica.
Hi,
Hey,
Erica.
Erica. Hey, Jenny.
Hello.
You're on mute, Jenny.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Oh, there she is. Yes. Hey.
Cool. Cool. How are you two doing?
Hanging in there.
How are
Just hanging in
you?
there. It's Wednesday, right?
We're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there. It's the end of the month though, so it might be kind of crazy. Erica, what are things like in your neck of the woods with what you're doing?
Yeah, so exciting things. You know, we're building a career tools platform, resources for members. We've got X-Ternship to talk about. You know, we've got HealthCon Regional coming up. We've got so many fun and exciting things. So yeah, just grateful to be on with these ladies here. We've got so many good things to talk about today.
Cool, awesome. And how about you,
Yeah.
Jenny? How have you been, and what anything going on in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I've been great. Just busy with, everyday work, and being part of the NAB is awesome, and things are going great.
Dave,
Yeah.
Jenny is in Wyoming.
I am in Wyoming. I'm in Rock Springs, Wyoming.
yeah.
So
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. And
Springs,
Jenny,
Wyoming.
and just to plug Jenny, she gave us all gifts at when we got together the last time, and she gave us pictures of wild horses. She's a photographer, and she takes photos of wild horses, and I'm literally have it on my desk at home. I like look
cool.
at that picture all the time. I love that picture, Jenny. Thank you so much.
I'm
I thought they were great. That was like the
the
best gift.
local culture, right? And that
Yes.
there's an abundance of wild horses here. They are pretty.
Yes,
pretty
they're
so-
gorgeous.
Cool. You don't have any pictures just off top of your head sitting on your desk that you could your camera and show us?
Oh,
Maybe?
yeah.
I know it's on the spot.
Grab, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe later or something. But
Yeah.
Next time.
well, cool. Well, you're all on to talk more about CPC-A, the apprentice designation, how we remove it, other sort of job-ready type of topics. Today, did the three of you have kind of a theme that you were going to go with?
Well, yeah. Well, we try to have one, or a topic that we want to talk about
Mhm.
when we do these social hours. And today, we really wanted to talk about all of the things that people that are just signing on to take their exam, how some of the stuff that they're already doing can equate to experience towards the A removal. Um, as you know, we need 2 full years of experience to have that A removed. And a lot of our conversations over the last few weeks is all of the different ways that we can get the A removed from that credential. As you know, sometimes that's a hindrance as to getting our foot finally in the door. You know, we all know there's some employers that may not employ A's, and so so we wanted to try to come up with ways to try to facilitate that, if you will, of getting these CPCAs more job ready. I know last week, our last session, we talked about the new credential, the new job ready CPC that's available. But we have plenty of CPCAs that's already CPCAs that are trying to get their A removed. A lot of them, of course, have gone through AAPC curriculum courses. So that equates for 1 year of the 2-year requirement, but they still need another year to get that A removed. And so, we wanted to talk today about some of the things that the CPCA may already be doing in their current position or past position that could qualify in the application process to get the A removed. So that's kind of one of the things we wanted to talk about. And we also wanted to talk about, if we had some time, about just putting a shout out kind of to our employers that may be out listening, just to talk about the value of bringing on an externship and becoming a host site. As we have people that are ready to go and eager to take on these opportunities, but we need to find more sites for them, more places for them to land, if you will, to before they can take flight into this career. So, so those are kind of the topics we wanted to kind of brush on today, Dave.
Nice. Yeah, we hear a lot about, even on these past social hours that we've had,
Mhm.
a lot of comments of people that are saying, "Hey, I got my A removed just by letting them know that I'm already involved in this."
Yes.
And so,
Mhm.
what are some of these things? Some of these different roles or duties or even jobs that people
Well,
are
well,
doing?
one of the things I can tell you is that it doesn't have to be coding per se.
Hmm.
People think that, oh, I need coding. Well, if you have exposure to codes, if you've done anything else in the revenue cycle, that is experience that counts towards the A removal as well. So, so that was one of the things that we definitely want to talk about. If you've done anything, we have people that join and go on to want to become coders and take their coding certifications and pass, and they've been working in the front desk role, or they've been doing pre-certification, or they've been maybe doing something in billing, and they didn't think that because they wasn't coding that would not count towards the A removal. So they never even try or never even apply or never even let AAPC know that they had that experience and for it to be counted towards the A removal. So we find that out a lot, like, why are you still a CPC-A? You've been working in this position and exposed to codes. Why are you still have the apprentice credential? And it's just because they didn't know.
Hmm.
They didn't know that was experience that went towards that. Yes, Jenny.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
there are so many things that I just don't think a lot of people think of. If you are in a healthcare setting, the knowledge required for your CPC, it's sprinkled throughout that whole revenue cycle, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
just an example of, I have a handful of people currently working for me that do data entry, and they would probably never think, oh, could totally apply to, the process of removing the A, but they're exposed to 3M, they're exposed to ICD-10 codes. They're actually entering those. They have to look them up. I mean, there's a lot of different things that they are looking at and exposed to, modifiers, they get edits. So even though it's not considered a heads down coding role, they are still exposed to multiple different aspects of coding and definitely could be considered as experience. I was thinking back to a long time ago when I worked in a provider office, and I was a medical assistant doing back office, but they had a need in the front office. And that was right before I took the courses and got credentialed. And I was entering in the information off the EOBs and posting payments, but I also had to look at those denials. And I wouldn't have thought at the time at all that I was doing anything coding related, but it absolutely is. So I think people just need to be more expansive in their thought process of what really ties to coding. Even sitting in on when you're onboarding new providers and they receive documentation training, if you're even sitting in on that, or if you're writing any tip sheets. I mean, I've got a whole list of ideas. There's things that people are involved in or probably have exposure to that they just haven't thought about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the first thing to do is ask yourself, are you working in healthcare? That's one check already. You already that much closer to maybe being something relatable. Are you working in healthcare? And then ask yourself, what am I doing day to day? Am I in this department? Am I in that department? Because yeah, you may not be 100% doing the job of coding or medical billing, but I know when we have externs, they are moving around. They could be in revenue cycle. They could be 20% revenue, maybe 50% another department. So ask yourself, are you in healthcare? And then just think about your day to day of what you're doing first. And then you may be closer than you think, you really might be closer than you think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It makes me think of, well, you can tell me if this would apply or not. Had a friend back in the day who worked for Select Health there in Salt Lake City, and I remember talking a little bit with her about, like, she would see some CPC codes, some come across her desk. I don't know. She was around coding. I don't think she was coding, but she worked there for like 5 or 6 years, through various positions there. With something like that, I mean, it sounds, without knowing much.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And I've seen people that maybe did abstraction where they're pulling medical record documentation or medical record data and not realizing their role in the revenue cycle because they were pulling it in support of claims or in support of appeal or another type of review. We have lots of target and educate, the TPE, audits that's coming from CMS, and we need lots of medical records pulled, and so we have people just enrolled in just abstracting data, abstracting information. And again, that's working with code, that's working in the revenue cycle. That may be something that can equate to having some experience already. Just like Erica said, checking off just that you're doing something healthcare related. And then looking at what are you doing healthcare related. Unless you're giving clinical care, most of the time it's in something else in support of the revenue cycle. And you know, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, so looking at it like that, and again, that's what we found. I've found that with a lot of CPCAs where they've already had that exposure, and oh, I was doing that for 2 years. I did that a few years ago, and I'm like, okay, then you've already maxed out the apprentice. Why are you still in that? And
Yeah.
it's just that they just didn't know. They didn't
Yeah.
know that former experience or that past experience or exposure counted towards this.
Right. Yeah. Charlene in the comments said charge entry is a big one.
Oh,
That's
yes.
probably what my
Yeah.
first thing was charge
Huge.
entry. So,
Yes.
and
Huge.
that's more kind of like can be more entry level kind of data
Mhm.
entry type, right? But you're still exposed to all that stuff and still
Absolutely.
learning, probably
Absolutely.
memorizing a lot of those codes too.
Memorizing, understanding code and combinations, understanding modifiers, understanding linking of CPT and ICD-10, how important that is to establish the medical necessity. Again, you're already working in the field. You're already exposed and doing and stuff and working with codes and
I
coding.
remember this goes hand in hand with building your resume. The
Mhm.
golden rule is if we don't see it on the resume, we don't think you did it, right? So when I'm looking at resumes, put it on the resume, you know, just that you were around, you were exposed, you were, you know, maybe mentored or coached by someone in the department or trained, you were exposed. That's the biggest word that I know you mentioned already, Carell. Like you were exposed, you're in healthcare. So when you're building your resume, if it's not on there also, make sure it's on there. That's what employers want to see for sure.
Erica, that is such a good point. A lot of times I feel like the majority of resumes that I review aren't quite detailed enough for me to understand. So don't ever be hesitant of listing the different areas you were involved in, the different responsibilities you had. Just be really thorough on that. So I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I know we don't always have to have one-page resumes, you know, keep going, more detail, especially if you're mid-level, you know, if you're newly certified, maybe starting your career off, but if you're mid-level, senior level, there's probably going to be a lot of information to add on there. So the more details, the better.
Yeah, and that's like I always figure like I mean, I know people, oh, they don't want to see a lot of information. You don't want a 12-page resume. That's true. But yeah, but I always thought that you can, if you have more than one page, you should use more than one page. You know, that one page, that may be the reason why you're not getting that interview, because you just haven't expanded out all of the things that you've been exposed to, of all the things that you've done, for the employer to say, okay, this is a candidate that I can at least interview or consider for that position.
For sure. Or you add more to your cover letter, right? So it's either like you kind of narrow it down a little bit more on the resume and be a little bit more short and sweet, but the bullets should be precise and specific. But cover letter could elaborate a little bit more also if you don't want that. You know, we don't really want a novel as a resume, but like one or two, it's okay. Like it'll be all right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And talking about that exposure in your interview as well. You know, talking about the things that you've done in the past. People are, oh, well, that was a couple of years ago. And then we've had some people that did stuff. I worked in the office a few years ago. Then they may have shifted out of healthcare and did something else, not recognizing that a lot of that stuff that they did even 5-10 years ago is still relevant. You know, sure, our codes have changed, but the art of taking care of patients have not. You know, and working in that environment has really not. I mean, we've gone from paper. You may have been working with paper products in the past, and we're now, of course, more electronic, and even now have AI tools. However, that still, again, was experience and exposure that could still help in this arena, and still be counted towards getting that A removed. So we just kind of wanted to get that word out during this session. today is, look at everything that you've done. Take a full, look at all you've done. When you even apply for your certification, and definitely look at it after you've obtained your certification and you now have that CPC-A of what experience can I have that I can again attest to and then send on to AAPC so it can count towards removing this A.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Great to kind of recap all that.
Yeah.
My question would be, what would be the process if I'm listening to this and I'm
Mhm.
like, oh man, I actually do have this experience that would apply. How do I go about it? Who do I
There's a,
email? Like
there's
what?
a yeah, there's a whole
That's what it is.
application process to get the A removed, and it's actually detailed on our AAPC website. And it's basically getting letters from the employer, getting letters from the employer that says yes, they were exposed to codes. This is the function. They did charge entry for us for a year, or they did this for 6 months, or they pulled medical records and were exposed to coding for the last 6 months.
Perfect.
That's basically it. You're filling out the little application, getting your employer letters, submitting that into AAPC. They take a review of all the information, and voila, your A is removed.
I've posted that link in the comments.
Yes.
And we haven't talked about things like Practicode and your
Yeah.
course that
Nope.
you're taking through APC. Those things
Nope.
help as well. So
Oh,
there
absolutely.
are several avenues.
They really are. They really are. And we're trying to come up with even more. Some of the work that we're doing on the NAB and in our committees is all focused on looking at our newly certified members as well as career development for members that's already have certifications and now looking to move up, mid-management to directors and higher. We're looking at that as well. So we're definitely looking at the careers of our members and trying to do everything we can to provide tools and assistance to try to help them get ahead. Definitely.
Yeah. It's such an asset for us as an organization to have committed volunteers that work in the industry
Mm-hmm.
like you, like all of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That can just add just so much foundational solidity, if that's a word, to what we're doing and your expertise and being able to be that liaison between the industry and this company that's trying to provide education that applies to the industry. Like yeah, such an asset.
Well, and that's a great segue, Dave, into talking about what I want to talk about next. Getting more X-Tern host sites.
There you go.
That is my next conversation because we have a need. We have plenty of eager, newly certified, eager, newly certified members that are looking for that chance. And we have employers. I know I've employed people for 20 plus years. I know we have employers. Everyone has a job that we can give exposure to an extern. They are looking for the exposure. You could get free labor, basically, to the employer. You have someone that's already certified. So you're getting certified free labor, knowledgeable people that's coming in with that foundational knowledge already that can help you with your abstractions, help you with follow up, help you with pulling records or doing any support for your value-based contracts, for your fee for service, for whatever you have going on. I've used externs in many different capacities, in many different roles. I had them helping at the front desk. I've had them do pre-auth research, referral agents, and things of that nature. So front office, back office, anything in the office, anything in the facility, anything in the department, these candidates can help with. And so, employers, if there's any employers out there or anyone on the line, go to your employer and suggest, hey, we should sign up to become a host site for AAPC's Project X-Tern program. And we can get, this volunteer labor to come in and help us with this backlog, with all these records we have to pull, with matching up EOBs or so many different tasks. You know, as we know, and all of our ladies know, there's a zillion things you can do in the office.
Yeah, it's such a win-win-win because we have CPC-As that want the experience, need the experience to get their A removed so that you can get their foot even more in the door, but it also gets their foot in the door with that experience, and then it helps the employer because they get, like you said, the free labor, and also get to kind of train somebody that they could then potentially hire and, you know, train them in their systems and their processes and all that. And
Well,
Erica,
we say it's like the trial and error, right? Because sometimes it's not always a great fit, and we know that. And sometimes getting that, you know, newly certified in the door, you know, hands-on experience, see if they're a good fit. Maybe, yes, they're certified. We know you are, you know, qualified, but it may not be personality fit. It may not be the right culture. And that's why the trial and error is so important, just to get them in the door. It could be a remote, you know, environment. It could be on-site. There's so many opportunities now for medical billing and coding. We're seeing so many more remote opportunities as well for externship sites. And we have a conversion rate that is so high that when they start off as an extern and they complete at least minimum of 160 hours, we have employers right now that are hosting plenty of externs, and they let us know they've offered roles, full-time roles, and it's a great starting point. It's a foot in the door. So it may not be 100% what you were looking for, but great foot in the door, great fit. I don't always like to say match, but because of the trial and error, because of taking the chance on an extern and getting the extra hands in whichever department you need, it was a smoother process instead of posting your need and getting swamped with resumes. You're getting a handful that are looking for exactly what the need is. So I'll put my information here. If there is anyone out there that is in need of externs or hosting a site, you know, you could feel free to reach out to me if you have any further questions also.
And I think it's an advantage as an employer to be able to take, first of all, the CPC-As that are looking for externs. They are just highly motivated. They're excited. They want to learn all they can learn. And as an employer, being able to train them right from the get-go on your preferred workflows and methods and everything you want can really be a benefit.
I'm curious how many sites we currently have. What's that number? Do we know what our participation is like, or?
I want to say, I mean, right now I'm speaking, we actually have a meeting after this that we're introducing. We're doing a big webinar coming up with these new employers that have signed on with us. That meeting is just about 5 employers right now, but they are taking between 10 and 20 externs monthly until hopefully converting them over. So it's hard to say. It's on a need for need basis. So sometimes if they do post on our website, they may remove their posting immediately because they have so many applicants to go through. So it's on a need by need basis. So yeah, I mean, it could be 3 months, 4 months that they have the need, and then they go ahead and offer the full-time role. So if nothing is being posted on our website right now under extern, it's likely because we did have employers that already got what they needed, but we have more, always need more, always looking for more partnerships. So you know, it's one of those that it's on need by need basis for sure, once they have who they're looking for in the door. But yeah, we're looking definitely for, you know, I try to partner with big hospitals. I try to partner with large organizations who can take, you know, like a feeder system, like continuous externs, maybe 10 a month, 20 a month, that they know that they can disperse to different departments and they'll always have a need. That's really where I partner to see about that larger need, not just like the ones or twos. But even if you need 1 or 2, you know, send any information our way, because we do have our newly certified students that are really looking for this. They're really looking to see where they belong and what next step is that next step after they are finished with AAPC and certified with us.
Yeah. Yeah, Alex, were there a few people in the chat talking about their organizations, or I don't know. I saw some numbers being thrown out. I wasn't sure if people were throwing out their willingness to be an extern host site or something.
Well, I just throw out numbers in the chat because I feel like it makes me look smarter. You know, I just put big numbers in. But seriously, Morgan Brown says they take 1 to 2. She's had requests. It looks like for, you know, up to 20, which like that is a lot for some facilities. But anything helps
Yeah.
and puts people on the right path. She had a question that someone here may be able to answer on our panel. Are you aware of a PowerPoint presentation on A removal? Or Dave, maybe you've put together a video on that in the past? No. So I just directed her towards
Yeah.
the website. That's your best resource right now.
Yeah.
And I'll ask around the office to see if there's
And
anything
tell her
out
to come back in 2 weeks, because that's our entire topic.
there. Okay.
Is
Okay.
Yeah,
is going into some detail about getting that A removed.
Yep.
Yeah. The
So
actual process itself.
And one more question from Morgan, and this is kind of a little detour. So, and we're almost out of time, but she says we need to figure out how to get new clients so we can expand to hire and get more externs. I love that mentality. It's not about like, I mean, of course, we all want more clients in our business to grow, but she sees that opportunity to help our future coders. We currently have connections with NP and LPN medical schools. Any other tips other than word of mouth? And I think she's meaning word of mouth on how to grow the business and get more clients. Have you guys been, and this applies probably more to Jenny and Corella, but expanding the business to get more clients?
Well,
Any thoughts?
I can definitely tell her that if attending conferences, getting out there in the industry will definitely be helpful. Also tapping into the local chapters as well.
Yes.
Going to those local chapter meetings. We try to keep those, of course, AAPC related, but there's a lot of networking that goes on, of course, behind the scenes, where you can definitely let people know, because there's office managers and practice managers and things of that attend those meetings, that may be looking for, the kind of help that she's offering to get more clients in that way. Jenny, I know you can talk about it. Talk about it.
Well, it'll just be echoing what you said. Get the word
Yeah.
out. What are you excellent at, and how does it benefit other people? And then, when people see that benefit, that's how you grow. So getting the word out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
LinkedIn, social media, putting some stuff out there as well about the services that you offer. So there's definitely some things that can be done to try to expand that client base.
Cool. Well, thank you all. Corella, thanks for your insight and join us every week, well, every 2 weeks here. And Jenny and Erica, thank you for joining us this week and your expertise and insight. If you're interested at all in the X-Tern program, reach out to us. Definitely reach out to Erica. She her info, I think she put in the chat, and we can throw that in there. Or join us next week or in 2 weeks, because we'll be talking more about the CPC-A removal, and we'll have other guests. Also thank Colleen Jensen, who was on earlier, and she was featured in the August magazine, or August AAPC, the magazine, and she's great, sharing her experience with the CFPC, the Certified Family Practice Coder Credential. Got it.
Yes.
Anyway, everybody have a great next couple of weeks, and we'll see you in a
All
few.
right.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye,
Have a good one.
everybody.
All right. Have a good
Bye.
one. All right.